Has come out here. I see a lot of friendly faces, familiar faces, not only from the work that Amy and I do in the legislature, but also from the campaign trail. As you know, both Amy and I have endorsed Governor Ron DeSantis for president, but this is more of a celebration of everything that we've been able to do together and make Iowa a better place and make our country a better place. So I appreciate everybody coming out here. Thank you very much. For all the lobbyists in the room, you know, Amy and I's doors are always open. Always willing to work with you, always willing to listen, and try and make the best policy possible. Now, sometimes we disagree, and yes, I'm looking at you, Brad Epperly. But
you're wrong sometimes.
I know. Trust me, if you ask my wife, I'm wrong all the time. She's here. Where are you at, Evie? That's my wife, beautiful wife, Evelise, in the background. Could everybody give her a round of applause? As any legislator can tell you, you can't do this without the strong people that you have behind you, supporting you at home. My wife has been there with me thick and thin through 17 years of this, going on 18, and I couldn't do it without her and without the girls' support. But anyway, I do want to say very, very grateful that all of you are here, I'm looking forward to this next session. It's going to be great. We've got a lot of good agenda items laid out, and we're going to continue to make Iowa a better place. Thank you, Governor Reynolds, for also being here. I know it's a competition between you and Governor DeSantis from time to time, but you know, as I was talking,
tracking it, believe me.
I know.
It's hard to get ahead of.
But as I've talked with some people in the room, they're like, well, Florida did this, but then Iowa did this, and I'm like, iron sharpens iron. The good book says that in the good book. So anyway, love that friendly competition. So thank you, Governor Reynolds, for being here. Thank you, Governor DeSantis, for being here. President Sinclair, you want to come up and say a few words, please?
Thank you. Whoa. Hello. It's weird. Got an echo over here on my right side, so I hate hearing myself talk. I love for you all to hear me talk, but I don't want to hear it. Thank you so much for coming. Matt and I have been working really hard with our other leadership and with our caucuses, all of the legislators in the room. Give a wave, because we appreciate you so much for working with. Hiding in the corner. Come on.
She's looking at you, Buslow.
I'm looking at you, Buslow.
It's true.
I just want to take a quick minute and again, thank you and reiterate what Matt said. Iowa and Florida, we've been doing it right. And yes, we have endorsed Governor DeSantis. And one of the main reasons is exactly what we were talking about with that iron sharpening iron. When I actually knew Governor DeSantis before he started running for president. I won't tell the story today. Since Governor Reynolds is in the room. But I knew him before he started running for president, and I was so excited about all of the things that Florida was doing. So I was supportive of what he was doing, even as governor. He put parents in charge of their kids' education and kept them in the loop of things. And so did Iowa. He kept he kept his kids in school. And so did Iowa. And do you know what the results say? Kids didn't stop learning like they did everywhere else in the nation. Iowa kids and Florida kids are better off because we have these two governors. And he kept his economy open just as we did here in Iowa, and kept taxes low and regulation low, just like we're doing here in Iowa. And when you look at that, when you look at Iowa and Florida versus Minnesota and Illinois and New York and California, what do you see? We are open for business, our people are paying less in taxes, and we have happy families and productive businesses. So from your parents, your kids, your families, your economy, Iowa and Florida are doing well. And so I can't think of a better place to be than here in Iowa with Governor Ron DeSantis here to speak with us. Governor, would you like to chat for a bit?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks so much. Well, congratulations to Matt and Amy and all the legislators here on the great success Congratulations to Governor Reynolds on the great success. And I know this firsthand because every time some blue state does something dumb, people flee to my state and they tell me about it. And they tell me about Chicago, they tell me about New York and New Jersey and Minnesota. And even now, increasingly, all the way from California. So I get a front row seat on this. When I talk to Iowans in Florida for many years, they were very, very happy with how this state is governed, and it just seems to get better and better, and you guys continue to raise the bar. And so yes, we've done a lot of the same stuff. We go back and forth. The good news about it is a lot of Iowans see me as a kindred spirit because I've done a lot of this. But the flip side of that is they're not quite as impressed about what we've done in Florida. You should hear me talk to California Republicans. These people are like, what? You actually did something good? And, because we even see that the governors, like, we had this debate with Gavin Newsom a couple weeks ago on Fox. And this is something Hannity, I've been friends with Hannity for a long time. He's a great guy. And he, would interview Newsom periodically. And Newsom has just been obsessed for years with Florida. I mean, literally, he'll have wildfires going out of control. He'll have rolling blackouts. He'll have all kinds of crime happening. And he's more interested in tweeting at me because of policies we're doing. And then so Sean's like, okay, if you're so interested, why don't you debate him, whatever. And Gab's like, 24 hours notice, you tell me I'm there. So then Sean came to me and he's like, you should do it. And I'm like, this is over the summer. I'm like, I know he's trying to run for president, but he hasn't put his hat in the ring. He should put his hat in the ring before that. Then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I'm running. I need media attention. I'm running against, the main competitor gets more media attention than anyone that's ever run before, constantly. And so I'm like, all right, if I can get 90 minutes on national TV to go against a left-wing governor and compare and contrast, I'll do it. So I said I'd do it, and then they really dragged their feet on this. They didn't want it. Finally, they're like, well, maybe October, then this. And finally, they set it for November 30th. And they had all these different stipulations, and one of the stipulations was they would not allow anybody in an audience. So literally, we're just in a room, there's podiums, there's Sean there, and all the cameras, and there's some camera guys, and that was it. Everyone else was kicked out. And I was wondering, why would you not want that? And then after we started debating, it dawned on me, because when he was lying, he knows he would have gotten booed by an audience. And I even had a fella, and I was in Northwest Iowa a week or so ago, and the guy came up to me, he's like, I really liked what you did to Gavin Newsom. So I guess a good debate. And he's like, let me just tell you this. Nobody believes California has lower taxes than Florida. Nobody believes that. But that's what he was doing. I mean, he wasn't able to defend the actual record. So he was trying to say, no, actually, California has lower taxes. Actually, he was trying to say California has lower energy costs, which is absurd. He tried to even say more people are moving from Florida to California than vice versa, which is definitely not true. But he was just doing this over and over again. He even tried to say, because I hit him on the COVID closures and the school closures, because what he would do is he would lock down his people, then he'd be at the French Laundry, living it up. And that's like thousands and thousands of dollars a person to be able to do that. Then he would close the schools for a long time. Then his kids were in person and private. And I think people just hate that, because when politicians do as they say, not as they do. But he tried to actually say that California was open and Florida was closed. And I'm just thinking to myself, you've got to be kidding me. But that debate, I think, shows why Iowa's right and why Florida's right. Because he didn't even try to defend his policies on the merits. What he tried to do is basically obfuscate, spin, and even lie about what they've actually done, because what they have done has not worked. What they have done has failed, and that's not just California. It's Oregon, Washington State, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, New York, New Jersey, all these, and we see it. And so you guys are living it, and it's sad that this is the case, because it should be someone would be elected that may be a little bit different, the whole place wouldn't collapse, but now you see these cities have collapsed. I even had to bust out the poop map of San Francisco to just show, because you hear about this, and then I was there 4 or 5 months ago, and literally within 5 minutes, I see some guy relieving himself on the sidewalk. And when you see that, you're just like, this is not normal. So you see all these things. So you'd think that people would see what works and then would shift. But I think so much of this is ingrained ideology with these folks that they're just going to keep going off a cliff. So Iowa's going to continue to be a landing spot for people fleeing Illinois, fleeing some of these areas. You guys will get even more when you get rid of the income tax. I know you guys are working on that, but I know we get a lot. But this sets up really the debate for the country, because Biden is just, he's a figurehead, but the people that are really pushing, they want what California has done. That's what they want for the whole country. And that's what they would try to do if they're able to win another 4 years in 2024. I think Florida and Iowa represent a model for American revival, where we can reverse we're on the skids now, we can reverse that trajectory and get us going in a way that we're going to be able to turn over America to our kids and grandkids in better shape than we found it. And we are not currently on the trajectory to do that. I think we're in real jeopardy of being the first generation of Americans to leave to our kids and grandkids an America less prosperous and less free than the one we inherited. And we cannot allow that to stand. That would be breaking faith with every generation of Americans before us if we weren't willing to step up and defend freedom. So that's why I'm running for president. I get inspiration for what people have done throughout this country, like in Iowa, and there have been some other states that have done some good stuff too. I'm not somebody that if a good Republican doesn't endorse me in the primary, if they're still doing good work, I'm happy with that. I'm not going to trash them just because of how they're falling in the primary. We want to see these conservative policies put into effect, and we want people to be able to reap the benefits of it. So I'm excited to be here. We're going to see a lot of y'all until the caucus, but then even beyond that, as president, I know that this is an important state in this country, not just for the role you play in the economy, with the great agriculture and everything, but also the policy experimentation and showing other states how it's done. So kudos to you guys for what you've done. Governor, thank you for all you've done, and thank you all for your support. And hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. God bless. Thank you.